Ancient Egypt, a land where golden dunes stretch endlessly and mighty pyramids rise with silent majesty, built by thousands whose hands shaped history. In the shadows of these giants, dark tombs guard secrets untouched for centuries, their walls covered in vibrant hieroglyphs that whisper stories of gods, battles, and the journey beyond life. At the heart of this civilization stands the pharaoh, seated upon his golden throne, a symbol of power, divinity, and unbroken authority. To his people, he is not just a ruler but the chosen representative of the gods, walking among them with a presence that commands awe. Even in death, he is honored with chambers filled with treasures and sacred symbols meant to guide him into eternity. Behind sealed doors lie mysteries waiting to be discovered, truths preserved by time itself. And as the sun sinks behind the pyramids, the legacy of the pharaohs rises once more, timeless, powerful, and forever wrapped in mystery. In ancient Egypt, a pharaoh was never seen as just a king. To the people of the Nile, he was a living god, a divine being walking among humans. They believed his blood was sacred. That he alone protected justice, power, and peace in the land. A pharaoh ruled with two mighty forces. Political authority, complete command over the Nile Valley. And spiritual majesty, a direct connection with the gods. This is why, when a pharaoh died, it wasn't the death of a ruler. It was the ascension of a god, rising from earth to the heavens. And even today, historians and experts still search for answers. How did an ordinary human gain the status of a god?
The mummies of Egypt remain one of the greatest mysteries of the ancient world. Pharaohs were wrapped in special layered cloth, and their bodies were preserved with unique chemicals that kept them intact for thousands of years. The mummification process took about 70 days. It included removing the internal organs, drying the body with natural salt, wrapping it in hundreds of linen layers, adding magical amulets, and reciting sacred spells. All of this was part of the ritual. Even today, scientists are amazed at how ancient Egyptians knew such advanced chemical techniques, methods that many modern countries still cannot fully replicate. In many places, mummies have been found, with hair, skin, and facial features still preserved. How is this possible? There is still no definitive answer.
Thousands of years ago, the ancient Egyptians believed something extraordinary. They believed that death was not an end, but the beginning of a new and mysterious journey. When a pharaoh died, he was prepared as if he were traveling to another world, given gold, jewels, food, weapons, tiny servant figurines, and magical books filled with ancient spells. Among these treasures, the most important was the Book of the Dead, a sacred guide written on papyrus to help the soul navigate the afterlife. And even today, with all our knowledge and technology, experts still cannot understand how the Egyptians had such deep wisdom about the soul, the afterlife, and the journey beyond death.
The world's most famous pharaoh is King Tutankhamun. In 1922, his hidden tomb was discovered deep inside the Valley of the Kings. But the moment the tomb opened, something strange began. People called it the Curse of the Pharaohs. Why did it become so famous? Because many people who entered the tomb reportedly died mysteriously within days. Scientists, archaeologists, even workers who helped uncover it. Was there really a deadly curse protecting the pharaoh's resting place? Or was it all just coincidence? Even after 100 years, no one knows the real answer. The mystery lives on.
Continuous scanning and modern technology reveal a shocking truth. Inside the pyramids there are still hidden rooms that no one has ever opened. Experts believe these secret chambers may hold treasures of the pharaohs. Ancient manuscripts. Or something so powerful that it could change history forever. But the Egyptian government refuses to open the entire pyramid. They fear that even a small mistake could damage the ancient structure. And so, even today, Countless secrets remain buried deep inside the pyramids.
The Great Sphinx. A massive lion body with a human head carved from a single block of stone. Standing silently in the desert guarding secrets older than history. But the question remains. Whose face does the Sphinx truly carry? Some say it is Pharaoh Khafre. Others believe it represents an ancient god. And some researchers think its original face was changed long ago. What shocks many experts is this. The Sphinx may be far older than the pyramids. Some studies suggest it could be almost 10,000 years old. Based on erosion patterns and geological clues. If that is true, then who built it? Which lost civilization existed here before the Egyptians? And what wisdom did they hold that we still cannot understand? The Sphinx remains a mystery. A silent guardian watching the sands of time. Keeping secrets the world is still trying to uncover. The Nile River is the true source of life. Ancient Egypt could not have existed without this river. Every year the Nile brought a great flood that made the land fertile and alive. The people of Egypt understood the power of this water. They learned how to guide its flow. They learned how to grow their crops. They learned how to read the changing seasons. For that ancient time this knowledge was truly unbelievable. But the Nile kept more than water. It kept secrets of a civilization far ahead of its era. Near the river ancient maps and stone carvings still stand. They show how skilled the Egyptians were in understanding their land, their environment, and even the stars above. The Nile was not just a river. It was the heartbeat of a world that shaped history.
Even today ancient Egyptian inscriptions contain mysterious spells known as Heka. These spells were used for healing, protection and spiritual power. Experts say that some of these spells feel surprisingly close to reality. Such as techniques to control dreams, methods to treat illnesses, and rituals believed to stop an enemy attack. So was this truly magic? Or a hidden force that modern science still cannot explain? This remains one of the greatest mysteries of Egypt. Many experts have raised a question that still shocks the modern world. Did ancient Egypt possess technology far ahead of our time? Structures aligned with perfect precision. Buildings constructed exactly according to the stars. Stone cutting techniques so advanced that even today they remain a mystery. Artifacts that hint at light sources like electric lamps. And medical tools that prove how skilled the ancient Egyptians were in surgery. These mysteries remain unanswered even after centuries of research. Egypt still stands before us as a living riddle. A land of pharaohs, pyramids, temples, magic and forgotten knowledge. Who were the ancient Egyptians? Where did they gain such wisdom? What force allowed them to build one of the greatest civilizations on earth? Maybe time will uncover more secrets. But one truth will never change.